Have you ever felt like you were kind of navigating your faith journey all on your own, just wishing you had a guide? Well, today we're diving into the art of spiritual guidance, this really powerful, life-shaping relationship that can honestly change everything. Let's take a look at what that's all about. That feeling of coming home, it's something so many of us are looking for. For author Darlene Zeke, it all started with this open-armed welcome. And that feeling, that's really the heart of spiritual guidance. It's about creating a space where someone feels truly seen, totally welcomed, and ready to grow. Okay, so when we use this word mentoring, especially in a spiritual sense, what are we really talking about? Because it's way more than just a casual chat over coffee. Let's really nail down a clear definition. So here we go. Mentoring is a dynamic, intentional relationship of trust. But see, the goal isn't just about self-improvement. It's about helping someone else tune into God's spirit in their own life. It's less about having all the answers and way more about creating an environment for them to discover those answers themselves. These four pillars are what really give the relationship its power. First, it's got to be dynamic, alive and flexible, changing as the person grows. It also has to be intentional, because real growth just doesn't happen by accident. Then everything, and I mean everything, is built on trust, and that takes time and care. And maybe most importantly, the mentor's job is to enable, not to give orders, but to empower the other person to find their own way. But why? Why is this relationship so crucial? Can't we just figure things out on our own? Well, the sources we looked at are pretty clear on this. Trying to go it alone isn't just hard. It can actually be pretty dangerous. This slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have what's been called an accident waiting to happen, a pious particle all alone. But then on the other side, you see this amazing vision for community, people who watch over one another and spur one another on. It's the difference between being isolated and having shared strength. And this is the feeling that it creates. It's that deep down knowledge that you're not running this race by yourself. There's someone up ahead on the same track, and they're cheering you on, pointing out the rough spots and ultimately pointing you toward the finish line so you can run an even better race. So right about now, you might be thinking, whoa, I am not qualified to be a mentor. I don't have all the answers. Well, hold on. Let's just debunk that myth right now. The heart of a mentor is something totally different from being an expert. Just look at this list. Notice what it's not saying. It's not about being a theologian or some perfect person. It's about being Christ-centered, a good listener, reliable, and open. These are qualities of the heart, not lines on a resume. It's about your posture, not your perfection. I love this metaphor from John Mallison. A mentor isn't some distant lecturer up on a stage. They're more like a workshop supervisor, right there on the floor with the apprentice, helping them learn by doing and facilitating that hands-on work. So let's be really clear about this, because it's crucial. Mentors are not sages on a mountaintop. They're just fellow travelers, maybe a few steps ahead on the same path, who are willing to share what they've learned along the way. That's something pretty much any of us can do for someone else. Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the who of mentoring, but what about the how? Like, how do you actually structure this kind of relationship so it leads to real, tangible growth? So, how do you get practical? Well, one really powerful tool is the SMART method. It's so easy in our faith journey to have these vague hopes, right? Like, I want to grow closer to God. This framework makes you get concrete. It turns a wish into an actual, actionable plan and gives both the mentor and the mentee a roadmap to follow together. Yeah, setting goals is one thing, but how do you dig deeper? How do you find the goals that really get to the heart of what needs to change or grow? How do you get past all the surface level stuff? And here it is. This is the mentor's secret weapon. It's not giving advice. The master tool is asking good questions. And then listening. I mean, really listening. Not just with your ears, but with your eyes and your heart to what's being said, and just as often, to what's being left unsaid. When you put all these pieces together, the impact doesn't just stop with one person. Not at all. It sparks a flame that can be passed on, creating this amazing ripple effect of growth that goes way beyond just the original relationship. See, the end goal isn't just to help one person. It's to equip that person so that they can in turn teach and mentor other people. It's this incredible model of spiritual multiplication, designed to pass the flame from one person to the next to the next. But what if you never had a mentor? This quote from Darlene Zeke is so empowering. You can be the one to break that cycle. you can actually become for others what you wish you'd had, creating a whole new legacy of support for the next generation. And this right here, this is the beautiful picture of the church when it's at its absolute best. Each generation standing on the shoulders of the one that came before it, receiving and then passing on this rich inheritance of faith. It's a continuous, living legacy. So as we wrap up, let's just leave it with these two questions. Think about your own journey. Who is that person a little further down the track beckoning you forward? And, just as important, who's behind you that you could be encouraging to help them run the race? The art of spiritual guidance is really found in the answer to both.